Good afternoon, all you beautiful people hanging out in the YouTube and the Facebook world. This is Keith with Profit Lifter. Today, we are going to be talking about the secrets to high converting ad campaigns. Because why? Because we all want to make more money. That's what we're here to do. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Is we're going to be covering some of the strategies of what it takes to actually set up and launch a high converting ad campaign. Today's going to be pretty conceptual with what we're talking about, but we're going to have a lot of fun. Make sure you throw in your comments, your questions, your ideas, anything you want, family recipes, good jokes you got, throw them in the chat for me. We'd love to hear from you. Let me know where you're joining me from, and we're going to hop in and get things rolling today. All right. So the secret to high converting ad campaigns today, we're going to help you transform your advertising results, because launching an ad campaign and getting things going for your business, getting traffic is critical. Profit Lifter will help you build your car, but you got to have gas. Profit Lifter, your systems, your website, your funnels, that is your vehicle for conversion. But your leads, the traffic that's coming in, the eyeballs that are looking at those assets, that is the fuel that makes the car go. And so we're gonna be helping you to optimize this, make sure that you've got everything that you need, that when you do start running ads, that your ads start converting. All right. So why do most ad campaigns fail? This is a good question. If you've ever tried to run ads and you've been frustrated and realized I haven't ran ads, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know why it's not working, any of that. That's I'm not sure why. Here's why it fails. Asa, it's good to see you, my friend. Glad you're hanging out with me today. So most ad campaigns fail from one, poor understanding. Marketers often miss their audience's true pain point. When it comes to advertising, like in marketing, you're not just going out there and you're not and just saying, "Hey, look at my cool stuff. Here's the reason I'm the coolest person ever." It's not about you. It's about them. It's about your audience. And when you're trying to connect with somebody, especially in a digital space, you have got to evoke feeling and emotions into what they're experiencing. Because like I'm a big John Maxwell fan. He teaches a lot on leadership, and I think there's a lot of parallels with leadership that actually coincide with marketing and sales. But one of the quotes that I've always heard that I absolutely love is, "You don't ask for somebody's hand until you've touched their heart." Meaning that if you cannot connect with somebody emotionally, they're not really going to care about what you have to say. And a lot of times when we're running ad campaigns, we're out there trying to flex like, "Ooh, look at me, I'm the biggest, best thing." But it's not about us. It's about our clients. It's about the leads. It's about the people that we're talking to. So when most ad campaigns fail because they're out there flashing all these fancy things, but they're not really addressing the true pain points of what's going on. One of the other elements one of the other reasons that campaigns fail so much is disconnected elements. Campaigns lack a cohesive structure from first click to conversion, meaning that it just kind of feels disjointed. There's no real path to moving through a journey. It's kind of like you just hope they opt in, and you hope you get their information, and then you hope they buy. And that's okay for maybe picking off some low-hanging fruit. But if you don't have everything really locked in and dialed in, and have a cohesive structure that's guiding people through the process, they're gonna get lost if they can't understand what they're doing. If it's not stupid simple, then it's not going to work. And again, you may get some low hanging fruit, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get all the fruit. So, and then the last one, wrong audience. Even great ads fail when shown to the wrong people. Meaning that if I'm out here advertising CRMs, websites, or business, anything business to business, and I'm targeting single stay-home mothers, or people who are employees, it's not gonna. It doesn't matter how good my ad is. It doesn't matter how good my funnels are, because people aren't going to see it. They're not going to be engaged with it, because it's the wrong person. It's like walking into a bar and flirting with somebody that is just married, not interested. Maybe like they're like it just you've got to know who you're talking to, and you've got to make sure you're talking to the right person. High converting campaigns are carefully built and not born by accident. And today I'm going to help you map out your path to your ad success and get into this. So the first thing that we want to focus on, find the pain point. This sounds mean, and it sounds a little sadistic, and it is on some levels. But when you can identify the pain that somebody's going through, this is what's going to allow you to connect with them. Because brands that actually connect with people connect with them on their pain points, not their high points. Everybody wants to connect when things are good. Nobody wants to connect when things are bad. If you want to be the solution, you need to step in and reach them where they're hurting most. So with that, you want to talk about solution. What is the pain point? Let's start at the bottom. This is a little upside down. The pain point. What's the problem your audience actively tries to solve? What is the one thing that is holding them back from success, living their best life? Why are they hurting? What is it that you're going to fix with them? Then you have emotional impact, meaning that because of this pain, how does that problem make you feel? So, and then from there, then you're going to provide your solution. So let's give some examples. Let's say you're in the business lending space, because I know some of you guys watching that are. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what is the pain point that your audience is going through? And it's probably the fact that they've got this amazing business, this unstoppable plan, this vision to really get out there, but they can't make it happen because they don't have all the tools. They don't have the funding they need. And without that funding, they're not going to be able to reach the next goal, or they're just going to spend countless hours just grinding with it. The emotional impact. So how does that make them feel? Now, actually, I'm going to take a step back, because my friend Alex Fries has this great but annoying thing that he does to me when we're talking about marketing campaigns, things like that. Like, we'll start with the pain point. We're like, okay, you know what? They can't grow their business. And so he goes, who cares? Well, I care. Why do you care? Okay, well, I care because if I can't grow, I may lose my business. Okay, why does that matter? Because if I lose my business, it's going to cause financial instability. Okay, why does that matter? Because I'm going to hurt my family. There's the pain. So taking that pain point and really diving in on it, instead of staying surface level, is going to help you really connect in a better, more genuine way. Because now, instead of just going out and going, hey, you can't grow your business because you don't have money, you can say, hey, if you don't have funding, you're putting your family at risk. Which one of those two is going to hit you right more between the eyes? Like, if for me, I hear family and immediately it's like, okay, let's go. We were talking about my family, something's happening. That's what you want to be thinking about with the pain point. So how would you feel? So if you lose your company because you don't have funding, and it impacts your family, how is that going to make you feel? Well, that's going to make me feel like a failure. Okay, do you feel like a failure because you can't grow your business, putting your family at risk? Whoa, now like you are diving into some deep psychological impacts. And I'm not saying this is the best example, I'm just winging this one. But I want you to understand the impact of diving into the pain points and then making people face the consequences of those pain points. Because look, we're adults, we are humans, we are entrepreneurs. We know that when pain happens, we got to keep going. Like, we don't have time to think about it. We don't have time to dissect it. We don't have time to even care about how it really makes us feel. But when somebody mentions it, it kind of gets us teary-eyed, makes us go, ooh, that kind of hit me right in the feelers. But now from there, why is your product the answer? Because if you can come in and go, hey, look, you're scared of losing your business, scared that you don't have the funding to properly grow, take care of your family, don't want to go back to the 9-to-5 grind, you feel like a failure because your business isn't where you know it could be. Here's how our 40 plus loan options are going to be able to blah, 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 blah. And now your solution is well more received because you're not just going out there and going, hey, I got the best product. It's the shiniest. It's the coolest. You are connecting with them on a very personal human level and then showing them how you position your product to answer, to stop pain. Because there are two things that will motivate people, and one is going to motivate them more. The first one is pain, and the second one is success. As much as we want to say the success is going to be our number one driver, that is not the case. It is never the case. Pain is always the number one driver. The avoidance of pain specifically is the number one driver of why people make decisions. So in your marketing and your campaigns and everything that you're doing, if you can find that pain point, make them feel it, and then show them how your product is that solution, now you're going to start to see real conversations. You're going to start to see people opt in and see people take advantage of your offer because you've connected with them. You've touched their heart, and now they're willing to take actions because they feel that you understand where they're at. High converting campaigns start with the pain, not your product. Build everything around solving real problems your audience faces daily. This is a winning strategy 9 times out of 10. Next, this is going to get into the strategy of what's going to happen. What's going to happen now that you've addressed their pain? Because now that you've touched their heart, now it's time to ask for their hand. And you want to start moving them along in a journey and taking them on the path that you want them to go through. So like on the right here, we've got, this is this kind of the basic customer journey of what a customer goes through. You have your awareness where they're just finding out about you. Consideration where they're going, okay, this may seem like a legitimate option. Decision is when they start really diving in and they choose whether or not they're going to work with you. Loyalty is they've worked with you, they love you. And then advocacy means they're a raving fan. They're telling everybody about it. They're tickled pink. They couldn't be happier. So with this, we want to be thinking about this customer journey, but we're going to break this down to your specific ad funnel. So the first thing that you want to be thinking about, why should they engage? What is the first step to leads finding out about you? So if I'm just finding out about a business and they're trying to get me to buy something, I'm not going to buy it. Like, just hands down. Like, I'm not interested. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And this isn't just like an initial offer. Like I had a call with a coaching company this week. Great salesperson, like one of the best salespeople I dealt with. And like he was hitting on all the pain points, and I still looked at him. I'm not ready. Like, why not? Like, I'm still in the consideration process. I don't know you. I don't know if all the stuff you put out there is just good marketing. But the way that I connected with them is they had a guide. They were like, hey, look, you want to see how you can grow your business in this industry doing this thing? I'm like, I do. So I opted in, and then they started connecting and going from there. So the first thing that you want to think about with your ad campaign, though, is if you're targeting somebody who has never heard of you before, what is the first step that you're going to take to get them interested in what you do, enough for them to go, okay, yeah, this is non-committal. This is something that is just a little flashy. It's, maybe a download, maybe a survey, maybe something where you're giving them something for free. You're giving them let's talk about stay on our business loan, business credit people. You have an application now. You have a funnel that you can put them into that shows that will help them determine what kind of funding that they can get. This is something that is non-committal. This is something you're not like, hey, tell me your life story. Let's go ahead and get started. Send me your W-2s and your documents. And you're not asking for bank statements. You're saying, look, answer 4 or 5 questions. Let's start there. Let's get to know each other. And then you want to think about, what do they get when they engage? What is your offer for them to opt in? So first, the pain point, why they should engage. Then what are they going to get in exchange for their information? If I'm going to put in my phone number and my email, and you're going to bombard me and harass me all the time, I better have something dang good that I get to, that's tangible, that I can put my hands on and go, Because I did this, now I have all these cool things, or I can use this. What are they going to get? What is the valuable consideration in exchange for their information? Because again, somebody who has just met you is not going to be buying from you right out of the gate. You've got to earn the sale, and that's what your marketing funnel should do. That's what your ad campaign should do. Because when you think of ad campaign, this isn't just about going out and putting out a Facebook ad. Like getting them to click the ad, that's one side. But then once they're there, this is what we're talking about. Next, where do they go after they opt in? So after somebody opts in, after they go through this, they've given you their information, they trust you enough. What is your post opt-in strategy? What are you going to do to convince them? How are you going to touch their heart even more and show them that you understand that pain and that you've got a true strategy to be able to fix that pain and make their life better? And then lastly, you want to think about how do you convert them? A clear path to purchase with minimal friction points. And this doesn't always happen. And a lot of times this doesn't happen initially right out of the gate, because what you're looking for is you're looking for a way to get them to just opt in with you, to get to know you. And then from there, you want to be thinking about your automations. You want to be thinking about your emails. You want to be thinking about how are you talking to them after they opt in? What are you doing with them a week after you pitched them? What are you doing with them a month after you pitched them? How often are you calling them? This conversion strategy is going to go a long way for you after you get them in, because again, people aren't going to buy just because you ran an ad. They may opt in with you. You may get the leads, but they're not going to buy just because they saw an ad on Facebook. The people who buy from ads on any platform are already following you. They're already engaged with you. They already know who you are. So a purchase to them is just kind of that final step in the process. So these are the 4 things that I want you to think about when you're setting up your campaign structure, when you're working on your funnel. Why should they engage with you? What do they get? Where do they go after they opt in? What's your strategy after they've opted in? And then how do you convert them? What's the path to conversion? And explain that. Remove friction at every step. Each click should move customers closer to conversion and not create confusion. KISS methodology. Keep it stupid simple. And I love this analogy because the easier you can keep it, the more people are going to be engaged with you. I love funnels that like you don't even realize that you signed up for it until you're pulling out your credit card. You're like, wow, okay, that was just really simple, really easy. I didn't have to think about that. So removing friction, the other thing that you want to think about, if you have the more times people have to fill out something, the more they have to click, the more work they are putting into engaging with you. Work in equals value out. The more somebody who has to work on something, the less valuable it becomes. So you want to think about how can you optimize this in such a way that it's just a frictionless transaction for them, that it's just smooth, it's easy, it makes sense, there's no confusion, and that it speaks directly to their needs. Next, we have been rebuilding our infrastructure here at Profit Lifter to adopt a new conversion strategy and content strategy. This is called the StoryBrand framework. It is so much fun. I'm having a blast with it. The StoryBrand framework is actually everything that we've outlined here. It's a customer-centric content strategy. Starts with your customer. So your customer as the hero, meaning you position your audience as the protagonist of the story. Everybody wants to feel like Superman. Everybody wants to be the star of the action show. So with the StoryBrand framework, you're positioning them as that hero. You are the tool that is elevating their hero status. Next, your brand as a guide. Provide expertise tools for their success. You are not the hero of the story. You are the person who is providing support for the hero of the story. From there, what you're going to do is, just because they have these cool tools in their hand doesn't mean they know how to use them. You want to be thinking about a clear plan. Offer simple steps towards solving their problems. Convoluted processes big long worksheets of, hey, look, if you do this, like that's fine for your operations. But for communicating with a client, you need 3 to 5, like 5 is absolute tops. 3 is optimal. If you can come up with a 3-step plan, it's clear, it's simple. You're giving them very simple steps towards solving their problem, and you're giving them real solutions in real time that's trackable. Now it's easy for them to remember. It's a mantra they can start to almost recite without thinking about it. And then last, you want to be thinking about the success vision. What does their life look like after using your solution? Again, this is your content structure of your sales funnel, your ads, everything that you're doing, your website. The StoryBrand framework focuses on, one, making them the hero. You're coming in to support you're coming in to support the hero. You're providing them tools. You're giving them a simple, clear path to using those tools. So now their hero status starts to become elevated. And now you're painting the vision of, this is what it looks like using our tools. Here's what it looks like by using our clear 3-step process to getting all the funding you need, 3-step process to growing your brand with Profit Lifter, 3-step process to booking your dream vacation. Whatever it is, you're showing them that success, what it looks like, what it feels like to actually achieve that goal. And when you're talking about that success vision, you shouldn't just be talking about like the tangibles of like, oh, you'll have $10,000 cash in your pocket. You're like, can you imagine how well you'll sleep at night beside your wife, knowing that you are so well funded that you have enough money to survive for the next 6 months? Like, that is life changing. That is success to people, because their success vision is overcoming that pain point that we've already pointed out. So again, the whole goal here is that they're the hero. You're the person who's coming in and helping them to defeat their pain point. Because I'll tell you a secret. As a business owner, you are not the hero. And I've said this multiple times, but I want to reinforce this. Because when you come in and you solve their problem, when they're sitting at the bar talking with their friends and of like, I grew my business by this. How did you build your business? Oh, I got a loan. They're not going to say, oh, my friends over at blah, blah, blah got me a loan. Nope. It's all about what they did. And so for you to be the chosen provider, you've got to be the one who makes them the hero and elevates them first. The other part of StoryBrand is it focuses a lot on clarity. Clarity beats cleverness. And I have struggled with this because I am creative. I love clever. I love snippets. I love coming up with catchy taglines. But since we've been implementing this, we have seen a tremendous increase in our conversions and what's happening. Clarity always beats cleverness. When customers immediately understand your message, conversion rates soar. So keep it stupid simple. Make them the hero and keep it simple. All right. When you're working on this, the next thing that you want to focus on is simple, clean, action-focused designs. And this is going to have to do with the designs of your images, for your ads, for your landing pages, for your funnels, for your email campaigns. Really focus on making sure that when they look at something, that it's not confusing. Do you want me to give you a real life example in real time? Look at the top of this slide. Again, I make these in AI, so like I don't have much control of it. But like when I'm sitting here trying to read simple, clean, action-focused design, my eyes keep going up here to where it says simplify conversions, and it's like kind of split there. It's distracting. That is a distracting design feature that is taking my attention away from the content first. When you're designing your landing pages, when you're focused on conversions, you want to focus on simplicity. You want to focus on clean and action focus, meaning there's a clear hierarchy. Headlines capture attention first, followed by supporting elements that guide to the call to action or the CTA. Think of it this way. How many websites have you been on that you just start scrolling, just kind of scanning the headlines to see if it's going to answer your question? Your leads are doing the same thing. Your traffic is doing the same thing. Create a clear headlines that capture their attention, followed by supporting elements, because people aren't reading every word on your website. They're scrolling to their pain point that you're talking about, and then they're reading underneath of that pain point. That's why, like, almost all of our websites, we put call to actions everywhere, because I know that when they're going through and reading, they're going to hit that call to action section and go, okay, yep, you got me. That's what I was looking for. Next, mobile first design. Design for small screens first. Most ad clicks now come from mobile devices. There's actually, it's actually 65 to 70% of all conversions that happen on a mobile device. Mobile first is the way that you should be building and optimizing to keep things clean. And not only that, when you take a mobile first approach, it demands simplicity. It demands ease of use. And then lastly, visual cues. Use arrows, contrasting buttons. Your call to action color should pop. Like, it should just jump out of the screen and go, oh, I need to click that. And then action colors to guide users' attention. Colors, visual cues, images, these should not be the center point of your design. They should point people to the actions that you want them to take and to the most important parts. So if you have something that's critical for what they're doing, that's when you want the movement. That's when you want arrows pointing. That's when you want the CSS effects that's sliding in and out, because now you're visually catching them, where now their attention is focused on that. And like, if there's let's say you've got an image that fades in, if right from there, if you've got your headline right next to it, they're looking at that image because it's moving, but then their eyes are naturally going to go to that headline because it's going to be the biggest font there. These are the kind of visuals that you want to think about. Simple, clean, action-focused designs. One page should have one goal. Design should enhance your message and not compete with it. So keep your designs simple, keep them focused, and make it work. Next, follow up and automation. Automate and dominate. If you're not automating, you're just wasting your time. This one I just have to throw in there because we're Profit Lifter. This is what we do. So the first thing you want to think about is, after somebody opts in, you need an immediate response. Send thank you message with clear next step within minutes. I think it should be within seconds. Like, once I opt in and I get a text message and an email, I'm like, cool. That like, I feel like. Now, I want you to think about this. If you went to a bank and you were applying for a loan, and you filled out all this information and you didn't get a confirmation, you didn't get an email, you didn't get a text message, you didn't get a notification of any sort, I would instantly be second guessing my relationship with that company. Because if they don't have the courtesy to connect with me and to just openly communicate, saying, hey, Keith, we saw that you opted in. Thanks. We'll be in touch with you. Cool. All right. That's all I need to know. That's like, I don't need you to pick up the phone and call me right now. But that immediate response builds trust. It's building a pattern of communication that it gets them to engage with you. Next, a 48-hour window. Follow up with value-added content when interest is high. People are more interested in what you have to say within the first 48 hours than just about any other time that they're going to work with you, until they start like buying bigger stuff and engaging with you. But on the conversion side, they don't care near as much as they do within that first 48 hours. If you have got them to opt in and to buy and to take action, then you know that they're hot, they're interested, they're ready to go. Next, you want to think about a multi-channel approach. Just sending emails is cool. Sending emails and SMS or retargeting ads is going to just blow their mind. Now they're seeing you everywhere. They feel like, because they engage with you once, that you're overly communicating. You're there on every channel, working with them in every way. And then last one, think about behavioral triggers. Adjust messaging based on how prospects engage with your communication. If they're opening emails, if they're going to different pages, if they're taking advantage of different downloads, these are things that you want to reward. You want to engage with them, and you want to adjust your messaging, because somebody who's engaging with all your content, going through, looking at all your pages. This isn't somebody who's just kicking tires. This is somebody who's in the decision phase of their journey. They're looking at you going, okay, you know what? I'm really liking what they're talking about. I like their vibe. Let's really dive in and see if this is going to help. The sale often happens after the click. It hardly ever happens on the click unless you're selling something for like 99 cents, something nominal. But automate smart follow-up sequences based on your customer's behavior. The more you communicate, the more they're going to be engaged. The more you can stay top of mind, the more the more likely they are to buy from you. If people buy from you and they never hear from you again, or if they opt in and they never hear from you again, they're going to forget about who you are. They're not going to know. You're going to go into the promotions folder and never be heard of again. All right. Last point we're going to touch on here is target the right person. We've got their pain point. We've talked about their content. So we've addressed their pain point. We've come up with a message and a strategy. We're going to follow the StoryBrand content model so that we can have simple, clear, effective communication to be able to get them to engage. Now we have a clean design that they're on. We're moving them through a pattern. And now we have automation. Now we've got to get in front of the right person. Targeting the right person is critical. If you are not in front of the right person, it doesn't matter what you throw at them. So what you want to be looking at is you want to be thinking about demographics, basic targeting by age, location, income, and other measurable factors. Like if you're in the business to business space, you need to target business owners. Pretty straightforward, right? If you sell to consumers, if you sell women's products, you need to be targeting women. You may target men occasionally when it comes around Mother's Day, but the majority of the people you're targeting should be your ideal buyer, the person who's going to buy. And then next, you want to think about interests and behaviors. Target based on what people do, not just who they are. I am a male. I live in the Kansas City area. I make money. Those are my demographics. My interests, I'm a drummer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a dad. These are the things that I'm interested in. These are my behaviors. These are the things that I spend time on. So if somebody wants to sell me a business-to-business thing, they're going to look for business owner. They're going to look for entrepreneur. They're going to look for all these things around the business space because that's my interest. Next, retargeting. Re-engage previous visitors who showed their interest but didn't convert. Retargeting is a great strategy because if somebody shows up on your site and they stay there for any amount of time, they are more than likely the right person, even if they don't look like it. Meaning that, like, if you're in the business, business to business is top of mind for me because that's what I do. So, like, it directly relates into my marketing. But like, if I'm looking for somebody, they may not like their Facebook and LinkedIn profiles may not say they're entrepreneurs. But I don't know what they may be in their garage working on the next big invention that's going to change the world. So retargeting is going to help you stay top of mind. It's going to keep you focused. And then next, journey matching. Align creative contents with their position in the buying journey. Targeting people isn't just about targeting where they're at as a person. It's also about targeting where they're at in your customer journey. Meaning, if I've already been through your website, if I've already been through your content, if I've already opted in, I've already engaged, I'm at a point that I'm probably ready to buy or not. So at that point, your retargeting to me should be focused on get started now. Here's my pricing, overcoming the objections to buying, opposed to getting to know me, getting to know you, downloading things. This is really going to engage more in the direct action of buying. This is where, if you're going to run ads for discounts, for promotions, for adding services or value adds on top of your product, this is where you would retarget people for that. Not right out of the gate, but people who are already engaged, the people in your retargeting list, the people in your journey who are in that decision process. This is where you want to start really pulling the punches to close the sale. Better targeting equals lower ad costs and higher conversion. Know exactly who needs your solution. If you know the pain, you know the person, you got the targeting. That's what you're looking for. So make sure you're targeting the right person. All right. Secret blueprint, 6 times higher return on investment, average conversion lift seen with integrated campaigns. If you implement this stuff, you are going to drastically start seeing improved conversions. Cost reduction. This is a no-brainer. If you're targeting the right person, saying the right thing, sending them to a website and landing pages that actually engage with them, that capture their attention, your cost per acquisition is going to drop considerably. I mean, this is almost a 50% reduction in costs, simply because you are targeting the right person. They're going to opt in. You're targeting the right person, saying the right thing, putting the best looking things in front of them that drive them to conversion. And then next, your 24 hours, critical windows, time frame for effective follow-up. You have got to be on it within the first 24 hours. If somebody opts in, call them. Just hands down. Somebody like I have one of our clients who like he was giving me a hard time. He's like, hey, when should I call my leads? I'm like, always call your leads instantly. Always call your leads. Call your leads. Call the leads. It's like your first 24 hours is critical. They just opted in with you. Think of it this way. If you're going out, if you meet somebody at a bar and you have a really strong physical attraction, you're like, wow, really like this person. I see potential for really being with this person on maybe even a long-term basis. I really want to explore that. And you don't hear from them from the stupid 72-hour rule of whoever made that up. Like, you don't think they're actually interested. Opposed to if you go out with them and they get a text from you the next day, go, man, I really had a great time with you last night. Been thinking about you this morning. Like, it doesn't have to be a, hey, are you ready to get married now because you went out on a date? No, but that first 24 hours is the most impactful, because that's when they're first getting to know you. You are already occupying brain space at the top of their brain. So taking advantage of that 24 hours is critical. Successful campaigns solve real pain with clarity. They position customers as heroes and guide them through frictionless journeys, nurturing trust at every step. So that's what we got for today, guys. Ready to build your high converting campaign? If you need guidance, hang out with me. That's what these lives are for, is to do stuff like this. Our teams bring decade of experience creating campaigns. Man, with some of the people that we have running campaigns for us now have been doing this forever, and they do amazing jobs. We've helped companies across multiple industries transform their advertising with their return on investment with our proven strategies, lead generation. So if you need help generating leads, you need help with your ad campaign, or you want to try it on your own, just reach out. We got Snap-ons to help with that. Check us out at profitlifter.com or give us a call at 877-661-1155. Don't let another campaign underperform. Let's start building your conversion machine, get you some traffic in there, start adding fuel to your machine so you can just take on and conquer the world. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. You are all rock stars in my mind. Hope you guys have an amazing week. We will see you.